Everybody needs a living wage. Oh, to get them through, get them through, get them through, get them through. Everybody needs a living wage.
We are here on this October the 1st, 2007. We are here on the front steps of we're on the front steps of City Hall, where there's a press conference to announce the victory of the Living Wage Coalition in passing the amendments. On October the 1st, which is today, they will increase the minimum wage to $10.77. That and more will be discussed by Supervisor Tom Amiano. We have Carl Kramer and Robert Bustamante here representing the Living Wage Coalition on their victory, which they worked hard for throughout the last 2 years.
Sheng Liu, XING, and then the last name is LIU. Thank you.
What is the living wage?
$10.77.
That's pretty
Yeah,
fair,
if you guys need me, I'll decide, but if it's other stuff,
So what is the issue? They want it higher?
no, they're just, today's the first day that they're actually giving
I don't get a living wage. They don't even pay me for my services. Home network.
She has it over about a month ago.
the party person.
Oh my God, it's still open.
Check. Good morning. My name is Robert Bustamante. I'm campaign co-director of the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition, and I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. It's really an important day for us because today the amendments to the living wage become effective. And what this means is that 15,000 workers here in San Francisco will be getting a wage increase, bringing them up to a lot closer to what it takes to live in San Francisco. We still have a ways to go, but it's a big step. And what happened was that the Board of Supervisors gave final approval to these amendments on September the 11th. And on September the 14th, Mayor Gavin Newsom signed the amendments into law. So, you know, all of this happened because of a lot of work on the part of a lot of people. Most of all, the workers at the nonprofit agencies, the home care workers, CalWorks participants, all of whom are going to benefit from this increase. And during this conference here, you'll be hearing from a lot of these folks. Along with the workers, we've been supported by labor organizations, community organizations, and religious congregations. And we'll be hearing from these people. Probably the most important individual in this was Supervisor Tom Amiano, who has shown great leadership on this issue, which sometimes is not very popular with some people, you know. Everybody talks about raising wages, but I don't know, when it comes from the city budget, there's sometimes a lot of opposition. So let's welcome Supervisor Tom Amiano.
Good morning, and thank you. This is really a team effort. As you know, the Living Wage Coalition has been around a long time, and they have had a lot of patience, and we're very deliberative about this process, and I know a lot of frustration around it. The Labor Council and all our labor folks, of course, have always had their shoulder to the wheel, and I'd like to think that, you know, my office had an open door about this, and I think our persistence, why there's some of us who aren't even around anymore, who got called up to the big Labor Council in the sky, I guess, where they're making a good living wage, we hope. That's how long this has taken. There was some wrinkles around what the final legislation was going to look like, but we did hold our ground, and I'm happy to say that this very, very important first step has been taken. There's a lot of faces that you can see here who represent low-wage workers who want to and deserve to live in San Francisco and not have to make those hard choices between a rent payment or a prescription for their kids. So we're on our way. We're a model, I think, for other cities. And in the long run, I think we do have to acknowledge the part of city government in finally acting responsibly towards this issue. So thank you all very, very much. None of this could happen without any of you. Thank you.
All right. Next, I'd like to introduce one of the great friends that we had during the campaign, Connie Ford, Vice President of the San Francisco Labor Council.
Thank you, Robert. Robert used to be a member of our union until he gracefully retired and now is fighting those good fights as a retiree. Thank you, Robert. So my name is Connie Ford, and I am the Secretary-Treasurer of Office Employees Local 3, as well as the Vice President of the San Francisco Labor Council. And this is a really joyous day. Let me just say, with the sun shining now after the rainy morning, it's beginning to shed light on the whole subject of lifting those working people who are at the bottom of the totem pole, who work every day for a living, and giving them a living wage, and even more importantly, in my opinion, with this new amendments that we have on, it is to give them a cost of doing business item within the legislation so that every year their wages will go up. That is a very important item that we just got passed through through the leadership of Supervisor Amiano, with the help of all of these great people here, with the support of the mayor ultimately, we have now what I consider some of the best San Francisco valued language around the living wage ordinance that's possible. We are very proud of this work. The labor movement has fully been on board of this. People who work every single day need health care and need a living wage, and this particular amendments to it will only make that stronger. I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud to be a part of all of this. I congratulate all of us, and I congratulate our city, and say, here we go, on to the next struggle. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce one of the home care workers, Zing Lu.
My name is Sing Sing Liu. My name is Sing Sing Liu. I am San Francisco. Tâm trí hậu cao hiện tham gia San Hà Sĩ sang một công ty bảo trường người hậu cao hiện.因為三藩市有最低工資保障各員工能夠有唔怕再受州政府影響嘅保障。
OK， 我係張超，我即係代表關於星星所講嘅話係。The home service worker is separately for the arbitrary of the wage income case of the home care worker and other worker in the San Francisco. This increase will give us a security that we will have a funding to our wage insurance in the future. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce the next couple of speakers who are going to be from Church Women United, Ann Jane and Wilma Newsom.
Good morning, friends, and thank you for having given us a chance to voice our concerns for the low-paid workers. I'm Wilma Newsom, President of Church Women United. Church Women United is a national, volunteer-based, Christian faith-based, ecumenical women's movement. It was founded in 1941. So we thank you for a chance to express our sentiments in behalf of Church Women United. I'm sure that I voiced the unanimous sentiments of this gathering when I thank Supervisor Amayante for his contribution to a very perplexed problem. Supervisor Amayante, along with some others, have shown vision and understanding and care and concern for the welfare of others, and we are grateful. So we're glad to be a part of this, and we want to congratulate all those who participated in this campaign to get this movement going. Thank you very much.
My name is Ann Jane. I am a member of Church Women United. I want to second what President Wilma Newsom has said. We congratulate Supervisor Amiano and the Living Wage Coalition for their long struggle to raise the wages of people who do such important work and who have been somewhat overlooked by our society. So we can all feel good that this has happened. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on Jane Morrison. She's a member of the San Francisco Democratic County Central Committee and was the chairperson of the committee from 2002 to 2004.
Well, I've always felt strongly that anybody who works full-time should make enough money for food and housing and health care. And a lot of employers will argue if they have to pay for the health care, for instance, that makes it difficult for them. But I would never like to buy a hamburger that save 50 cents or $1 and know the person who cooked it was not making enough money to support their family, to have health care and food and everything. So I think it's important that we continue to raise the living wage and the minimum wage in California and the United States. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Nikki Trasvina, San Francisco State.
Thank you, Robert. And today is a great day. I want to congratulate the San Francisco Living Wage for the long struggle that they were very persistent with to gain these new wages for our great workers. So congratulations to the 15,000 workers in San Francisco who will now be earning a better wage thanks to the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition. My name is Nikki Trasvini. I work at San Francisco State University, and I represent many professional people that live in San Francisco that can go to work and not worry about their families at home. I'm here also representing clients that receive the services of the workers. My situation is that I have 2 senior parents at home that can stay at home because they have dedicated, hard-working caretakers at home that take care of them. They really do a great job. They enjoy their work. They feel respect and dignity on the job because they are earning a living wage. So I can see the value in this coalition and the work they've done, and we have to continue supporting other workers besides just the home health care workers and the nonprofit workers. We have to support all workers and make sure that everybody earns a living wage here in San Francisco, because people look at San Francisco as the leader. They look at us for our progressive movements. So it's really an important step that we've taken. Thank you so much for your support, and congratulations again to the workers that now have these new wages. Thank you.
Well, I myself have worked in nonprofit agencies most of my life, in fact, here in San Francisco. So I know what these wages mean to these workers. There's a lot of things that happen when someone doesn't get paid a decent wage. You know, there's high turnover. People who want to get into this field of serving the community aren't able to afford to do so, and sometimes have to leave for things that they're totally unprepared for. You know, they may have gone to school to study social work, community organizing, and so on, but then sometimes end up parking cars or something, only because that pays a living wage, whereas working for a nonprofit doesn't. So I really know how these workers feel, you know, about getting this increase. Next, I'd like to introduce Carl Kramer, who, along with myself, is co-campaign director of the San Francisco Living Wage. Carl?
On behalf of all of our members, and particularly member organizations that have been supporting our coalition, Church Women United, the San Francisco Labor Council, United Healthcare Workers West, SEIU 1021, OPIU Local 3, and UFCW Local 101, and a host of other organizations that have been a part of this campaign for the past 3 years, and getting these amendments to the living wage law, which is known as the minimum compensation ordinance. This is going to be a big step in reducing the turnover in nonprofit agencies that retains experienced workers at these agencies to provide efficient and the kind of services that San Francisco residents have come to expect and depend on. Every year now, this minimum rate will be increased by the Consumer Price Index for the Bay Area. So we'll see that workers are able to keep up with inflation and that they won't be forced out of the city. This is a first step, and we're continuing to campaign to bring up wages of low-wage workers in the city, and particularly the ones that are providing these valuable services to our community. Those that are here for one-on-one interviews, Sing Zhu Lau of Home Health Care Aid, and we have Jing Zhao to provide translation, and also members of Church Women United who did so much work in going out to the churches and congregations in San Francisco to build support for these amendments. So thank you all for coming.
This is workers work for agencies contracted with the city?
Yes, these are workers on city service contracts, so working at city-funded nonprofit agencies, and also includes CalWorks parents who are on the welfare organization. These are people who are working for the welfare program, the welfare grants, and long-term ins and outs wages, and now you see this law at least 10 cents.
What would this mean for somebody who's a worker? How will this affect?
This would mean workers are able to make ends meet and be able to afford to stay in San Francisco. And we all know that this is still needs to be improved, that there's real wage increases. We have a cost of living adjustment on January 1st that'll bring the wage up past $100 an hour, and then every year there'll be an cost of living adjustment. And also continue to wages for those workers.
How long have you been working on this issue?
We started this campaign 3 years ago. Conversation introduced before supervisors, and last year came before the Budget and Finance Committee, didn't make it out of the Budget and Finance Committee. This year it made it out of the Budget and Finance Committee. That's a full board for a vote, 10 votes for it. We had 2 dissenting, so one supervisors, pretty much unanimous.
Great. I'll wait for you to know your testimony.
Okay, I'm not, because I can't come from your reading that much.
I'm with the San Francisco Living Wage Coalition. Well, today the amendments become effective, which means that today these workers that we've been talking about today are actually going to start getting this money on their check. They'll probably see on their next paycheck, most likely, but the rate will start today. So that's basically what we're here for.
Is this an important step for the city of San Francisco?
I think so, because there's thousands and thousands of people getting driven out of San Francisco. You know, people that have lived there, maybe almost a thousand, are fleeing San Francisco. I think San Francisco, because what people are getting impacted by the high cost of living here. So San Francisco is losing its diversity, and that's why it's important that all workers, especially workers that work under contract with the city, get paid a wage that will at least allow them to stay here.
Tell me a little bit about the situation. San Francisco seems to be the leader on a lot of
well, I think we're fortunate in that regard. But, you know, cities have to come forward because the state and the federal governments aren't taking care of the business that they should be taking care of. So it's left to cities to handle things like this. You know, the fact that the federal government hasn't raised the minimum wage for, I don't even remember how long, it's crazy. You know, the cities of all of things, you know, even states all across the country have now implemented living wage laws. You know, you see this in a lot of issues, even immigration. City ID card, I think, is a step in the right direction. Again, because the state and the federal governments are just not doing a good job. Well, that this certainly wouldn't have happened without the support of a whole lot of people. Most of our workers that are going to benefit by this. It's been a long campaign, a couple of years, and they've been there all along. The fact that that many of them here today is because people have to work for it. But yeah, I would say that they deserve a lot of credit. And of course, you know, labor unions, religious congregations, community action organizations in San Francisco, they've all helped make this possible. Thank you.
Somebody who doesn't have enough to pay the rent and to pay the food and to take their family and have health care. And so the employers have to figure that out. That's the cost of the product. And they have to pretend they can't afford the same business in any place.
There has been some only opposition came from the restaurant association.
No, well, they are suing the city right now to oppose the health care. You know, that's just such a...
Thank you.
I'm going to take that home and listen to my dad's
Hi, Juan. This is Jane. You're going to have a birthday. Hope it's a happy birthday, and I hope to see you sometime. And your daughter's going to give you a ride home.
Tell me, I'll be calling Mecca.
And I'm Diana Hartman.
And we're the Peaceniks. Everybody, 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 everybody